This video is supported in part by Retro Days, a place for nostalgia nerds to gather, share memories, chat, and engage. Go to retrodays.com or check their YouTube channel linked below. Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I am John, and I am a Gen X Grown Up. I have loved collecting these handheld and tabletop arcade machines over the last couple of years, but releases have dramatically slowed, especially since the pandemic. If there's one silver lining to that dark cloud, it's that now I have time to go back and collect the ones that I missed because there's not an onslaught of new ones every single week or month coming out. You probably know that I get a lot of ideas for future videos from comments and older videos left by viewers like you. I looked and I saw that both Crackers and Jaden has suggested that I should review the tiny arcade Frogger from Super Impulse. Alright, sounds great, but I didn't stop there. I saw another comment from viewer Paradigm Rouge who said, John, what you ought to do is compare the tiny arcade and the micro arcade, both from Super Impulse, both from Frogger, and compare and contrast them. Look, I never owned either of these. I don't know how I missed out on them, but I picked them both up. Like, why not kill two birds or frogs with one stone? Thanks for the suggestions. Let's do it right now.
Don't you know that you're a grown up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown up.
Here we have Frogger and Frogger, both from Super Impulse, with the tiny and the micro. Where to begin? Well, why don't we start with the micro arcade this time around? This one is from the Series 4 line of these micro arcade toys. And just as before, we're touting authentic gameplay with that full color screen. And this great packaging with a little transparent area leaves very little to the imagination. But let's get it open and take a quick tour of the device. Well, of course, we have this little catalog and instructions that we never need. And the device itself is just like all of the others we've seen before, and I've actually grown quite fond of this design. I like that very transparent, 90s-esque, kind of clear electronics view, and you can see all the little circuits on the board inside. It has the four-way directional D-pad on top, of course. You have this A and B button. The battery is built right in, so charging is done via this micro USB port right at the bottom using the included charging cable. And across the top there are these two switches, both for speaker on-off and for power on-off. The back just has some logos and legal information, and though I've never mentioned it before, I'm quite fond of this sparkly sort of metallic finish they have on the back of these micro units. I think that's a nice touch. Moving right along then to the hardware of the tiny arcade Frogger. I think this one came out pretty early in the series of these tiny arcades, and they ship in this clear box. You can see most of it, but let's get it open and take a deeper look. And inside we've got catalog, instructions, and toy. These are built and designed from the ground up to look like little versions of the arcade cabinets. And you know, this side art of Frogger we've seen a bajillion times, and it's pretty accurate. These stay pretty well to scale, I like. They don't have to squish the art too much. The back of these tiny arcades all have this little keychain that I'm always quick to take off because all it does is rattle and make noise, and I'm never going to put it on a set of keys. We get a little bonus Frogger artwork down here on the knee board, and the speaker is right there on the bottom of the device. The marquee decal takes a little bit of creative license with the original Frogger marquee, but the good news on these is it does illuminate when you turn the device on, so that's pretty cool. And for control, we have that standard tiny arcade nub joystick and two buttons, of which Frogger needs 0, but I'm guessing one is player start and the other one is nothing, most likely. Both of these are attractive devices and would make a nice addition to any handheld arcade collection, but let's get into the gameplay. That's really where the rubber hits the road. No pun intended, Frogger, sorry. Alright, power on the micro. Here come our frogs across the middle of the screen, even in a track screen on this version. That's nice. Hop, 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 Frogger. Alright, let's give it a try. Oh, that sound is always pretty grating. You know, the frog hopping sound is okay. They could have done, honestly, without the music and been great here. Controls are actually pretty darn good. I mean, it's a four-way D-pad. It's not a joystick, but yeah, I haven't missed a hop yet that I wanted to make. I wish we could get far enough to see if we add things like add the snake and things like that to make sure it's not just the same thing over and over, because Frogger should be progressive. There's more happening. We add otters and snakes and alligators and stuff. I want to make sure those things are present. Get up there, get up there. Whew, close. Oh, there we go. That's the alligator in the pen. That's good. I mean, bad for Frogger, but good for this game. The traffic is definitely getting more dense. You know, I appreciate that they have music, but it's so tinny that it gets pretty grating and monotonous. It's the same little toot 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 over and over and over and over. All right, well, I'm on to level 3 now. I'm just curious to see if at this point we get the addition of snakes and otters. Oh, there's the otter. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's good. I mean, for something that obviously isn't original. Oh, geez, that snake is fast. Do you see that? Holy moly. That's a little too... Oh, that otter is crazy fast. All right. I mean, they're there. That's a... It's kind of unfair, though. Man, if that snake comes out after you, you just got to have something to jump on or you're going to be done. Oh, goodness. All right. Yeah, a good version of Frogger, if not some hyper-fast enemies once you get to level 3, but well done. Let's move on to the Tiny Arcade. That's powered on. Oh, a track screen as well. There's that lighted marquee. Yeah, and here come the frogs. Yep, Frogger. That's Frogger. Well, there's a nice coin sound. All right. Yeah, that's not... Frogger is really suffering every version you do because you can't do that original license music, you know. Just like with the Micro Arcade, though, I really wish they would provide an option to just turn off the music. If you can't have the original music, you know, let me just have just my Frogger sound effects. Because the plink sound effect here of the hopping frog is just perfect. Oh, there's no sound of hopping into the pad. There's that kind of like crunch noise when you hop in the pad you're expecting to have, but I didn't hear that. Yeah, no sound hopping in. That's interesting. All right, we're on to level 2 here. I wanted to make sure that we progress and we get the additional elements as you move forward. We should get a crocodile in place of one of the logs here. Yep, I see him. There he is, opening and closing his little trap. We got the alligator inside of the landing pads. That's good. You know, and the music is actually, as monotonous as it is, it's starting to grow on me. It's not terrible. It's not as grating as the non-music blippy music on the Micro. I'm growing quite fond of this little Frogger. Wow, I can't believe I took so long to get this one. You know, I'm controlling this with my thumb on that little nub, and it's going great, actually. I haven't made any bad jumps so far. Doing what I tell it to. And that'll do level 2. Alright, so level 3 should introduce some more stuff. We should get snakes, we should get otters. Yeah, oh, there's the otter. I saw the snake on a log over there. Oh, look, again, that snake is booking. Man, whoever's doing these ports, they think the snake should be jet-powered. Yeah, look at how fast he is. Oh, and I'm jumping in the water. I was just stunned by the snake blasting across the screen. Whoo, look at that otter. Holy Moses. Oh, okay. Another good version of Frogger in this tiny arcade. All right. Both pretty decent, neither one perfect. Let's start by talking about the Micro Arcade. We already knew going in that sound is the biggest problem with these Micro Arcades. They just won't upgrade the speaker in them, and they just sound so tinny and blippy. But that being said, the version of Frogger here, despite the fact that it's not a real ROM, despite the fact that it's a lower frame rate and a lower pixel count too, it's a pretty faithful, I'll say, experience that you get playing Frogger. You know, playing it on mute is a definite option here, although you will miss out on some of the sound effects. The music here that they replicated was just so repetitive as to become annoying after a while. And in fact, as I played it later, I did mute it, and I just lived with it that way. And it's fine, especially for around 20 bucks for a toy like this. They're getting easier to find. With both of these, if you think you're going to want them, I'll put a link down in the description of the video where you can find it for yourself. But I'm pretty happy with what they've done with this series for Frogger, and I think probably rate it about 3.5 tokens out of 5. Respectable Frogger gameplay, not too much to be upset about other than the sound that we already knew going in. And then of course there's the tiny arcade version of Frogger. I'll admit that early on when these were first released, I underestimated these tiny arcades. I didn't even buy them, didn't want them, I had no interest. But as I saw other people review them, and I actually put my hands on them myself, I'm fleshing out the full collection. I'm happy to have them. Unlike the micro player, the sounds here are much better across the board. Even that music that initially I found to be just jarring because it wasn't the Frogger music I wanted, it grew on me and I got used to it. I kind of like it. I'm glad they included it. It's weird that they left out the one sound effect of you jumping into the pad, but in the case of both of them though, man, that snake and otter move too damn fast. They're like the cars. They're just flying across the screen. So you're gonna have to be a pro if you get up to levels 3 and 4 and beyond, because those things just whip across the screen. But for a rating for this tiny arcade Frogger, I'm gonna go just a tiny bit higher, 3 3/4 tokens out of 5. I think this is one that you're definitely going to want to add to your collection, especially if you're a Frogger fan. So in the end, the Tiny Arcade noses out the Micro Arcade by just a little bit. Micro Arcade is really bringing their A game in these later releases. I think if they would just upgrade that speaker, get a little better sound, they would have an awesome product that people would absolutely flock to. Man, I really hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, you made it to the end. If you liked this video, the best way to say thanks is to watch one more. Here are a couple suggestions that you just might enjoy. And if you love our content, maybe consider becoming a Patreon supporter by following the link on screen.
Unacceptable for grown-ups. Your dinner cannot just be french fries.